That sucks. Alright. 3, 2, 1, and go. I hate cloning in JP. That's really frustrating. But that's okay, I can get a much better solvering time than 1630. Even my 1608 is eh. Like it's good, but considering there's like 20 seconds to save over that, almost 30 seconds that can be saved over that easy. What the fuck? Open the door. All I have to get is like an 8-minute walk to Connor Forest. And a good walk to Solvering. If I had gotten an 8-minute, that would have been a 15:30. Because that was a 9:15 Connor Forest walk. If that had been an 8-minute Connor Forest, that would have been a 15:15. Like, with that Connor Forest. So, suffice to say there's a bunch of time to be saved. It's just straight up luck. Hey, Quest 64. I forgot to reset my recording. Oops. I need to make a... Can I use a US memory card for a JP game? Does anyone know if I can do that? I might need to make some saves for this, if I can. For cloning, because I hate it, and it's so bad. Should work? Okay. Thought as much. I only have the one memory card that actually works. I have like 3 memory cards. One is the original one that I've had since I had the N64. Making a save file on a memory card. Oh, that's fair. Yeah. I just need to make a save at a spot where there's cloning because... Ugh. Yay! Get hit by it, please. Well, obviously. That's not what I meant. I meant, like, making a save on Eltail Monsters on a memory card, but it is whether the US memory card would work or not. Three. I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest. Honestly, Heal 2 isn't necessary at all. It just makes it nicer. You can get away with just straight up picking up items and not fighting as much stuff. Like, I think you save more time that way. Because you absolutely have to have Spirit Armor too for, Fargo. He's straight up RNG. Alright, this is good. Wasn't paying attention to my time. 4:30 is great in here. But I'm only at 3 experience, so, you know. Oh right, I have Water Pillar too. 6. And a Dewdrop. Once I get a run I'm satisfied with in JP, I'm going to go back to Brian's. I don't know how serious I'm going to take that though, because Game Boy optimization is a lot movement, and I am pretty bad with movement. Right. I mean, I'll probably go for a good time where I don't die like at all or anything. I mean, I'll be happy with like a 2 flat. That's up to you. I don't know that it's necessarily worth it, honestly. I don't know if it applies the 2 times forever or it applies the 2 times exactly when you get it and then your defense goes up from there. I'd actually have to ask Kirk how the defense works, if it's always 2 times, or if it's only when you pick it up that it initially multiplies it by 2 and then doesn't from there. So this is a good time into here, but I'm at 6 experience, so, you know. Fighting those, man-eaters is generally just not worth it. Experience is good, but the fight itself is poop, so. Oh. Probably didn't really need to heal. Could have just waited and healed myself. Oh, it doesn't? Alright, well that's good to know. The badge would be nice if there was a reason to get it because it reduces your random encounters, but I think it's too out of the way to get it, to be honest. Right. I'm at 6 experience, but I am getting into here at a really, really good time. See. 8 flat is solid, and this is defense early with low experience is pretty good, because that means I'll have higher defense when I'm fighting stuff that I'm not gonna have as much damage for. Initiative glitch. So if anyone's wondering, that's what the initiative glitch is. Which was actually a really good time for me to get it too. Talk about awesome timing. Alright, it's gonna... Dodging would be great. Let's do that, Brian. Last one. Just because of how weak I'm gonna be, I'm a little okay getting... Because I really only need to get to 55 by Silvering. Being a little strong, I'm not upset with. To be quite honest. I'm at 6 experience and everything. Cool. Oop. Come on. 14. Not gonna fight this. Well, actually, I will fight it because it put me at 18. $18 is significant enough. I have decent damage now. 12. I'll be able to do bats and stuff without issue. Alright, I have to fight this. To 30. I almost split for that. Wait a second, wrong thing. $34. There. 36. I have really high HP for this. Alright, bat fights. That's exactly what I need. This will put me at 70. Well, yeah, I agree. I think the badge would be minutely helpful overall. Like, not significant. But I think it could be useful because you just have less encounters that you're getting into. Because you're wasting less time having to load the encounter and then getting out of the encounter, you know. Alright, well, I'll kill this because... whatever. This is gonna waste a bunch of time though, unfortunately. $90. And a dewdrop. Alright. Still in a pretty good spot though, so it'll be about 17, unfortunately. Unless the Soul Ring fight's really good. Unless I roll high, which is always a possibility. But yeah, I should be fighting him like 30 seconds ago. The slide though. 1. 3. 5. 6, 7. 7, 7. 10 hits, doesn't matter. Nine. 10. What? Guess I can't count. Alright, going for it. I'll tolerate it. I mean, it's 30 seconds, so. It was a one bread fight too, so. Yeah, if I don't get a 2 here, I'm obviously restarting. And you see, and this is why you see why coming in with low experience isn't good. Alright, good. I think he'll attack from that far. He would. I didn't think he would. I thought that was just a bit too far. I think for me, for Brian's journey, it's a matter of knowing how many enemies I need to actually kill, and how often, or certain areas where I need to train defense on HP. Like, so I think Kirk, you said it's not actually about the amount of hits you take, it's the amount of damage you take from hits. So like high hit, high damage attacks are actually really, really good. This is a bad spot. God damn it. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm just saying what I said was like unfortunately it's too out of the way to get the badge. And it's not even fairies, like any big enemy can drop gemstones too, like any large enemy like wyverns or whatever. Cockatrices, they also drop them. But cockatrices hit like trucks, so, you know. Come on. Don't give me these crap encounters. By crap encounters, I mean not necessarily counters that freeze you, but encounters where I'm not near an edge of the arena. Those are bad encounters, especially ones cornered in. Alright, 2106. Better than my PB, but still not great. Oh, I have escape. What am I doing? Well, I may have saved more time anyway, because that wasn't a slow fight. And the off chance that escape decided not to work. Forgot that I had escape. Whoops. I'll be only on the second spirit by the time he gets to the first one, so I'm not that far ahead. Oh, he gets in at like 23, so maybe I might be on the third spirit. Onto the third spirit. I just wish that Dragon Sentinel's video still existed. That would be extremely helpful. Bite me, Glencoe Forest. Bite me. That was 3 one-step fights in a row. Like I went out backwards the way I came from, stepped forwards to where I was, encounter. 3 times. 2 times. So this is poop. Not a good Glencoe Forest. Granted, my Glencoe Forest and PB was awful, awful. This can still be okay, but it's not good. And then I get fights like this. Like... game. And miss doesn't work. I mean, if I was just doing runs for the sake of doing runs, I wouldn't be upset, but I'm going, like, I'm attempting to get a new PB these runs, and it's extremely frustrating when it's just straight RNG. Like, I shouldn't just be doing runs for the sake of PBs, I should be doing runs for the sake of doing runs, because otherwise it's just salt. Yeah, Vice, the other part is I actually have his, like, Kirk gave me his splits, so I'm not as bothered by the fact that I put that as first. If, like, if I had just been told that he had gotten a 150, I'd be like, alright, cool, and I wouldn't have put the time up there, but I have splits, so I'm like, okay. The splits is what really is, like, he did do runs at one point. And it's not like one split, it's like he did a bunch of runs. I mean, his sum of best is a 140, so... I mean, when there's more people running it, I'll probably take that video or that thing down. Or if I get a closer time, I'll just make note that my time isn't actually world record. There's a 150 somewhere. Of course, if I end up beating the 150, I'm going to take it down and just, you know, it's noted somewhere that Dragon Sentinel had a 150 run. But considering it's just you and me, I don't think it matters that much right now. Escape luck is real. I switched from my JP cart to my Everdrive and I'm still getting shit luck. I think it's just JP is shittier when it comes to encounters for whatever reason. I think the guy, and Kirk Q is apparently friends with the guy on Skype, hence how I got all the information. Apparently the guy had a video on his machine, and his machine has since died, so the Skype, or the video is lost to all time, essentially. We're talking about Quest RPG, Brian's Journey, the Game Boy game. Brenna's Journey, yes. Good old Brenna. Oh, God. Yeah, that's my fault. That's why I'm not... Damn it. That's just annoying. I could have stepped out of the encounter, instead I'm an idiot. Video of the world record run for Brian's Journey. A guy used to run the game a long time ago and has a 150. I have him set as first on the leaderboard because I have his splits, and they are definitely a 150. Alright, so 28:30, I had a pretty decent walk actually over, so I did save some time. I have a pretty bad walk over as well. Like everything from my first two splits and my PB are just bad. Oh, forgot. Zoom out there, for whatever reason you don't lag. Yeah, go to speedrun.com, look up Quest RPG Brian's Journey, and look at the leaderboards. It's me and this other guy, Dragon Sentinel. His doesn't have a video. My time is a 217 and his time is a 150. But I overtrained, like, spirits. I think I actually, like, through the end of the video I'm saying I don't have enough defense, but I actually beat the game. So I think I actually have enough defense, but I think I just overtrained, like, I killed too much stuff. I don't need near as much as I had. City, USA, population in this game. Someone can steal that idea. Someone just needs to remake this, or make the sequel feature Brenna, Brian's daughter. Based. By based, I mean not actually based. Yeah, I should do that. Remind me after I'm done streaming. Or send me a message and we can do that later. Based escape though. And an extremely good Carmel. I'll ask KirkQ or something. I just meant like send me a message and I'll look into it on speedrun.com or whatever. I'll find something. I might have to ask Kirk to do it. There's a really good walk down here. 33, 15, or 10 or so. Yeah, 33, 15 is really good. Despite how, like, that was a really fast West Carmel overall. I got into Marpole at 30, so I was actually like 3 minutes ahead. There's a forum thread somewhere that tells you how to do it. I remember seeing it, but I didn't actually read it, so I don't know. But yeah, I'll ask KirkQ to combine them as a series thing. I think I have 3 breads. I have at least 2 breads, so I'm in a good spot anyway. I'm probably getting to the point where I need to make some people mods. Don't know who I want as mods though. Hey, wobble up a dub. Wobble up a dub dub. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me I'm bad. I appreciate it. Encounters, please. Alright. Ba-dum. Came to see the part where I get salty. Because this is the part where I get salty. Well, doesn't matter. And I'm gonna heal all the way anyway. $35, so I'm only 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Or 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. Alright, I will fight this group. Good spot. Sweet. That was a good fight. Or escape. Not gonna fight that. It's a fun game casually. I mean, if you can get past the uncompletedness of the game, it's interesting. The combat is fairly unique. The story is not terribly in-depth. JP is a good one to watch because it's more likely to finish a run, because JP is easier. The US version was released first. The US version is much harder, and also significantly crueler. The JP version, they took all that into account and made a lot of stuff nicer. Like everything, all your HP, your defense, agility, MP, all of it trains faster. Bosses give MP as well as HP. In the US version, they only give you HP. I don't want to fight this fight. Well, there isn't going to be any spoilage anyway, there's not much to spoil. That's lovely. Right. They just took a lot of stuff from the US version, just made it a lot nicer overall. Is really what they did. Alright, so it looks like he's gaining time on me. That's because I fought early in this. In my PB, I didn't fight until like the very end, so I'm gonna gain some time back there. Normally, if this was US, I would go out of bounds on this particular enemy using the compression glitch. Basically, compression, the way it works is it makes enemies smaller. It also makes their defense goes down, and I think their attack goes down. Or just one of them goes down. Doesn't really matter because that's not what's important. Basically, their physical size is shrunk. They get shrunken a bit, and if you stand between them and a wall, when they go back to normal size, you get pushed out of bounds. And it's only some enemies. Wyvern is extremely easy because he's enormous. But in Blue Cave we use an enemy called the Scorpion. who's extremely finicky. You have to be like it's a really small window where he'll push you out of bounds. You have to be like almost exactly in front of him for it to work. In Bergun Tunnel, there's an area where you can literally walk out of bounds, and I'm not kidding when I say you actually walk out of bounds. You straight up walk out of bounds. And then the last one, Boil Hole, there's an enemy called Magma Fish, which is not that finicky. Kind of just he has to be close enough to the wall, and he'll gently push you out of bounds. He's not that bad. But Wyvern is by and far the easiest because he's really, really big. Basically, we go around and kill a bunch of bosses, and then go kill the final boss. That's the gist of it. Beast Escape actually working. But the big thing is two spells called Magic Barrier and Avalanche. So Avalanche is a Earth spell at 24 Earth that you drop rocks around you randomly. The more that hits, the more damage it does, and it has a ridiculously high base damage, so obviously we're going to use that because it's broken. The other spell is called Magic Barrier, which makes you invulnerable to any kind of magic. If anyone tries to melee you, they can still hit you, but I don't think there's a boss that uses melee in this game, so you don't have to worry about that. So basically, you just use Magic Barrier, and you use... Oh, this is gonna be bad. This is a bad spot. Okay, get out. Yeah, I'm wasting like a minute here, by the way, because of this bullshit fucking fight. Alright, not as bad as it could have been. But Magic Barrier in the US version versus the JP version. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? And if I don't get out with escape, okay, good. I'm gonna get, because I can't actually like walk out easily. So it's just a really bad spot to get an encounter. JP for versus US, and I've lost a bunch of time. This has been a really shitty call hazard because of these guys. In US, barrier lasts 2 turns. Always. 3, like 40% of the time. And I don't know if it can last a 4th turn. JP, it lasts 3 turns 80% of the time. 4 turns, like... It basically can go from like 2 to 6 in JP versus like 2 to 4 in US. So, and it's much nicer in JP, so it's just easier overall for bosses. Also, Guilty and Mammon. Guilty is like the hardest boss in US because him and Mammon in US are non-elemental, so they take half damage from everything. In JP, they both have an element, or non-elemental counts as an element instead of it being them having no element. So they actually take normal damage from spells, so Guilty and Mammon both melt comparatively. Those are the biggest difference. Like, you can, in US, you can only get an item drop if you don't have the item. JP, you can get the item drop up to having 2 or 3 of them. Everything trains faster. Glitch-wise, the big difference is cloning is much worse in JP because there's actually an animation for when you pick up spirits. It's really slow. You can get, usually, like, a person can get 2. A task maybe be able to get 3. In US, you can get up to 6. Tasks will always get 6, obviously, but you can get up to 6, and it's not impossible. I've gotten several 6s. I've gotten like 4 or 5 at this point. But generally you'll get 4 or 5. 4s are what you need for the route. 5s are great, and 6s are just fucking awesome. And that's the big difference. Like, normally, if this was US, I would have been out of bound. You wouldn't be seeing this part of the area because I can get to 19 fire, which is when you get compression, early enough for it to be worthwhile. Whereas in JP, you can't get to compression fast enough to have Avalanche by Zels, whereas in US you can. Alright, this was a really not a great call hazard. And then the rest of it straight up comes to Avalanche, Barrier working. Fun fact, barrier can miss when you try to cast it. So instead of being invincible, you can just be nothing. And Avalanche can hit up to 7 times, which I don't know if anyone's actually had a 7 hit knowingly. But generally, Avalanche is just random. So like 1 is not great, but it's okay. 2 is good, 3 is good, 4 is good. Like anything more than 2 is awesome. But generally, you're gonna, like, if you get 1 or 2, you're like, alright, that's fine. That's what I want. Like, I want to make progress in the fight. If you get, like, 4 or 5, you're like, this is fucking great. Like, I might be able to 2-shot the boss. Basically, I want someone to take the JP version and edit the animation out of Spirit thing so that we can clone, like, the US version. I want someone to do that so I can play it and be like, this is the combined version, it's better stuff. I'm surprised I got a 2 out of that. Alright, definitely don't have to clone the second one. Not that I would anyway. But with getting 4 experience in Zels, I definitely don't have to clone the second one. Right. And also this area has a really low encounter rate. I always get a bunch of encounters, like, it's insane. Usually most people get 1, 2 encounters. I get like 5 normally, or like 4 normally. Right now I'm only at 2. I might get a 3rd one, or even a 4th one, but I always get a ridiculous amount of encounters in this area. I have to remember to put 2 into water. After Zelsi. Yeah. Another encounter. This is gonna be a slow one because there's a lot of enemies. Alright, thank you for casting that. And thank you for being a 1 turn. Alright. Definitely not gonna gold split. Well, I can, actually, if I have a ridiculous fight. That was a good slide. Might be in range. Yeah, 2. Nice. That's a great start, actually. Please. Please, game. Please. This is what normally looks like. Three. Yeah, no problem, Wappa. Oh my god, he would have been dead if all those hit. Ugh, that's ugly. Come on. Or 5. I need 9 on him. Fine. Didn't expect him to use that. 6, 7. 8, 9, and alright, cool. Alright. Fun fact, I saved a bunch of time on that split because I had a very bad Goal Hazard and I had a pretty crap Zealous fight. That wasn't a good Zealous fight, that was a less than average, I would say, Zealous fight, but it wasn't terrible. It was just not good. My PB is so bad that it's not hard to beat it. The next boss that we get to has the smallest hitbox and is a pain. But by then I have Magic Barrier and Avalanche. Well, I have Avalanche already, but I have Magic Barrier as well. So basically, I'm Magic Barrier, Avalanche, Avalanche, Magic Barrier, Avalanche, Avalanche. And then when I get low, I'll use Confusion, which basically for the damage you take is how much MP you recover. If I go in expecting to have a good fight, I'm going to be angry. Like, that's how bad, like, the RNG in this game is. There's a reason I call it RNG 64, or why everyone calls it RNG 64, because it is RNG 64. Right, the reason I put 2 into water after Zealous is so I have heal 2. In JP, the heal 2 is a significant jump. So I went from healing for like 13 to healing, doing that, just this one because it's a 5 fight, healing 13 to healing 30. US, it's like healing 13 to healing like 18 or 19, so it's not a big jump, but JP it's like more than double, which is awesome. And yes, those blue stones on either side have arrows pointing in the direction you need to go. Oh, that's my bad. I don't need to stay at full health, but I want to stay above 70. Don't walk, thank you. So when I'm saying don't walk, the enemies can walk forward. All of them are extremely slow. Also, his walk, when he walks close, he uses a different attack that hits like a truck. And I don't want that. Unlike the US version, I don't need to train my MP because I'll have more than enough. Like, I have more MP now than I will ever get in a US run. US run gets 24 sometimes. And this is bad. Escape is being a butthole. But yeah, that's where you lose a lot of time. Is like encounters are like 15 seconds in and of themselves, but then escape makes it worse every time it misses. It doesn't suck. It's frustrating to speedrun unless you're willing to grind it and you understand that it's RNG. As to play it, it's not that bad. Because it's not hard to be overpowered. Well, I would play the US version, to be honest. The only difference is the US version. Yeah, speedrunning this game is frustrating. Playing it casually is not that bad at all. Because you're always going to be really... If you use the speedrunning strats, you're going to be ridiculously overpowered. Because you basically, you get Barrier, Avalanche, and Heal 2, and, like... You're just gonna have so much more HP, so much more MP, so much more defense and agility that stuff isn't gonna miss. You're basically just gonna hit like a truck. Comparatively. I already hit like a truck, but you're gonna hit, like, I don't know, a freight train, you know, something huge like that. Yeah, especially with the random counters are like, it's a countdown. The further you walk, the more likely you are to get into an encounter. And at any given time you can get into an encounter. So I could get out of encounter, take a step, and immediately get into an encounter, even though it's only like a 2% chance or something tiny. That's really what's obnoxious about the random encounters, is that stuff. Hi, Indy. health rate. Thank you, Wubba, I appreciate it. Alright, have a good night. Enjoy your rest. Thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. And thank you for the good luck. Alright, let's see if I can get the... Oh no, I had it! Oh! Ah. Not that it matters, I got out first turn anyway. I had the initiative glitch and I pressed B. Damn! That's one of those ones you can predict. You almost always get into an encounter right about there. Like, the initiative glitch generally is not going to happen, but there's certain spots where it's like, you go from an area where you're not going to get into encounters to an area like that, where you basically always get an encounter, and you can kind of predict it. Unfortunately, I hit B, because I was like, oh, I didn't get it, and then I did. Ah, fuck. Damn it. Yeah, that's why I don't want them walking. They're super slow. Not as slow as the eyeball guys, but it's still slower than just doing his normal attack like this. He walked anyway. Walked really far. Doing that attack, I'd rather just do that because I can move hands faster. Man, I got the initiative glitch too. I could have cast escape and like maybe gotten out of the fight faster. And granted, it was still a quick fight. Oh, you have to walk up. See, and their AI is super weird. It's not consistent at all. So it's hard to predict if they're gonna walk up or not. Like, I'm surprised that he walked up for that, because I'm pretty far out of his range for that attack. Normally. Spent the heal too. Slipped. Banana, dum dum dum. Don't worry, guys, I have 10 minutes to get to Nepti, or to fight Nepti and kill her. If I stay even with my best split, I would kill her at 106.25 or so. Which would be insane if I got that. Come on. This is the stuff that's annoying, because I took like 2 steps there. I'm not healing right now because I'm expecting those encounters. I'll probably get into encounter when I step into this area. No? That's a surprise. Alright, I'll almost certainly get into encounter when I start walking into that area again. Every, like, connector area you can get into encounter with the bats, so I'll probably get into it as soon as I step into this area. There it is. See, that's really surprising that it took that long. Usually they're pretty quick. I do like the encounters though where they're behind me instead. Because obviously if escape doesn't work, I'm already walking towards the exit where I want to go. So when those encounters happen behind me, it's a bit better. I don't lose as much time with escape not working as I would if the encounter's in front of me and I have to go backwards and then potentially get into an encounter again through the area. Hello, Mr. Dragon. Oh, this is the Krusty Krab. Wait. Was actually a pretty decent walk up here. I think I had a pretty good walk in my PB, but I had a pretty bad Nepty fight, so it actually ended up staying even like the previous PB in terms of time. Because I got that first clone in Windward Forest, I'm actually going to save a little bit of time a bit later on, about 30 seconds or so. I don't have to pick up an extra spirit. It's kind of out of the way. That was a really good, that's what this area should look like, maybe one encounter. Usually I get a couple. Right. 1, 2, yay! Ah, you walked. Ooh, all around her. Come on. That's all in front of me now. That's mean. Four, I think. Oh. Oh, that barrier last. Five. Six. Seven. He doesn't need much more. Go for it. 8. Ooh. That's not a big deal. Nine. Be almost dead. Seriously, game. Why you gotta be like that? That's really atrocious. Oh, no, crap. Fuck. God damn it. I lost a minute on that fight, that's really annoying. A really fucking bad fight. Actually, I just put one into Earth, so I do have to pick up a spirit. Damn it! God, such a slow fight. That's why I didn't this fight. Pick up the spirit in the house instead of getting a different spirit. That's really fucking up that I died. Man. Shame. The time to a kitty fight. Now I have the low encounter right here. That's fantastic. Please, game. Here's to throwing away a minute just to get that spirit. Seriously, what is going on? I'm not a minute ahead anymore. I'm like... well, actually, I'm maybe a minute ahead at this point. Super irritating, because all my time save is in these first 3 frickin' splits. Or really, it's the first 2 splits that all my time save is, and I just lost basically any time save. Any significant time save. Man. Especially with accidentally putting that spirit in Earth. And then taking 6 years to get to an encounter. What the hell, game? The one time I want fast encounters, the game's like, nah, I don't feel like it. I'm gonna get hit by this no matter what because it gets so close. The attack is too fast. Hey Viceroy. Welcome. How are you doing tonight? I don't know what time it is for you, but it's tonight for me, so. Cool. Well, you're in a good spot to see me be extremely salty about this game. Because I actually don't like the JP version that much in terms of speedrunning. It's easier, but it's much more frustrating to me. Mostly because cloning is just bad in this version. Oh yeah, that's where I am. I am on the East Coast as well. Yeah, I was super spoiled by doing US version. And being good at cloning. Like, definitely me and Squid are probably the best at cloning. Followed by Drifting and Jazzy. I haven't seen Drifting and Jazzy either of them clone in a long time, so I don't remember how good they were at it. But I know me and Squid are the only people to get 6s. 12. Okay. As long as I get the 2, I'll be fine. If I had done the JP version first and then gone to US, like, I probably wouldn't hate the cloning in this, but I would be really bad at US version. It's actually not that bad. It's straight up RNG. Like, once you know what you need to get and how to get it, in terms of a speedrun, this game I would say is fairly easy. It's pretty much just be lucky. The main skill is decision making and being able to clone. Well, there's 3 skills. Decision making, like what spells to use when, and what items to use, like that kind of stuff in battles. Positioning for out of bounds, which is very easy to learn. And then cloning, which is also fairly easy to learn. Alright, so for everyone that was here earlier, this is the walk out of bounds strat coming up. And when I say walk out of bounds, I literally mean walk out of bounds. But the reason I stay at full health here is there's an enemy called the Will-O-Wisp that hits like a friggin' truck. He does just a bit over half my health. He does like 60 damage, and I don't have more than 120, so I can't survive 2 hits from him. So I need to be at full health so I can survive. This has not been a very good split so far. Had a lot of encounters that have been quick. Alright. Prepare yourself, guys. This is it. Oh, I can't run out of bounds, I just have to walk. I enjoy that out of bounds so much. Literally just walking out of bounds. Alright, this is the part where I need to look at the screen closely. And I see the spirit blip, like that way. Yep, there it is. I want to run at that spirit, which is about southeast. I want to be a little more east than south, so because I have to go around a wall. I do need to pick up the spirit, unfortunately. Granted, it's not that bad to pick up, so... That's the newest addition to the Out of Bounds, thanks to one Squid the Pig. And I'm gonna do this. Angle it a little more before I hit the wall. I don't have to walk as far. Save a couple seconds of time. Alright, and I'll drop down there. And this will walk me over to this. Pick up this spirit. And now I walk just north of east. Or just east of north, rather. East of northeast. Ugh. So I can see the area, because the area goes east and then north and then east and north, and I'll run into a little portion a little bit. There it is, that's the corner I want. I actually ran a bit past it, but that's exactly where I want to be anyway, so that was a really good spotting. Yeah, I'm gonna lose time on the split, which is disappointing. Actually, yeah. No, I'm actually gonna save a bunch of time, but I'm losing time against some of the best. Only gonna lose... Actually, no. This is actually a really, really good... What am I... This is really, really good. I saved... I was thinking... I only lost... My sum of best is extremely good for this split, and I'm only losing like 30 or so seconds. Maybe 40 seconds. This is a very good split. I don't know what I'm thinking. But yeah, that's actually real solid. Yep, 40 seconds. I like that. I did gain time on my PB, so that's good. I need to make sure I pick up the chest first. And then I clone this. Alright, well, that sucks. And that's why I don't like cloning in this game, because you either get a 1 or you get 2. And either way, it's not cool. Alright, the only reason I'm making this save is so that I can see. It turns it into day. So that just makes it less dark. Probably hurts everyone's eyes, and for that I apologize, because my game's a tad bright so I can see when I'm out of bounds. Alright, not good so far. I need to have not a lot of encounters, and then I need to get a good first turn encounter in Boil Hole. But these slow encounters are not good. Plus I have to pick up an extra spirit, because the clone didn't work, which is great. So I threw away a bunch of time too after after Nepti and failing the clone. Not cool. Getting a shit ton of encounters, really infuriating because I can't have this. Yeah, so I have to go out of my way for this spirit, which is not a good spot, because if I get into encounter, I'm cornered. But it looks like I didn't get into an encounter, which is good. You can totally go this whole walk and get like 2 encounters. I've done it. It's pretty sweet when that happens. This, not sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna lose a lot more than 40 seconds on my sum of best for this split. Just had not a good walk over to Boil Hole overall. Like 4 slow encounters all. The dunes. So these are the guys that I actually want to end up going out of bounds on. But I don't want them until I'm in Boil Hole. Granted, I could use them go out of bounds here, but it's not the greatest, and this is a bad fight. Base escape actually working. If I hadn't accidentally put one into Earth after Nepti, I would be fine. I wouldn't have had to pick up that extra spirit. I wouldn't have picked up the extra spirit after Nepti. Alright. So here's the part where I have to get a good first encounter, and I'll most likely get a Rocky, which is the slowest and worst encounter I could possibly get. And since it's 2, I'm definitely using a replica. This is dumb. Alright, so I'm gonna lose time on the split, which sucks. This is a good split. This is why I need to be ahead early game. Actually, I'm not going to. Of course it doesn't fucking work. God damn it. That's frustrating. Fucking kidding me, come on. Don't be like this game. He can crit kill me, probably. I hope he does. I want to be done playing this game right now. So I am nothing but salt. I should be out of bounds and already walking. I think that's... And my PB is going to catch up real fast here. Because he gets a first turn and gets a... like, my PB got a godlike Fargo split, which is why it was a PB, is basically to split. And if I don't get a good split here, there's no reason to continue the run. So, you know how I was 2.5 minutes ahead? I'm about 15 seconds ahead at the moment. Alright, I'm now behind. Alright, finally. Christ. You're gonna come and hit me. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. Alright. I just wasted an MP item I really needed. Yep. Notice how he's out of bounds already? Yeah. He's probably not going to push me out of bounds from there. Come on. This is the spot where he'll push me out of bounds. Generally, if you have to push him out of the way, it's a good spot that he'll go out of bounds on. Yep. Like that. The hell? Oh, I went out on the wrong side. Think. Yeah, I did. Not that big a deal, I can still drop. And I just had to run around a little bit. Yeah, that's how bad that was. I'm going to be behind by the end of the split, so... Hey, it's Rocky's Bite Me game. Bite me so hard. I'm just gonna finish this run out. whatever happens. But, so I'm not supremely angry. I'm just gonna compare against some of best, because I don't know. So I'm thinking about doing a marathon type run as my 100 follower special, where I do US 80%, US All Spirits, JP 80%, JP All Spirits, and then Brian's Quest. I haven't routed Brian Quest All Spirits, so I can't really do that one. I don't know where all the spirits are. I should be hitting something soon. There we go. That's what I wanted to hit. But I might do that as a follower special. That would be really, really long. 2, 4, 9, probably about 12 hours. I don't know if I'll do it this week. I might do it soon. Crashed here and a half. Alright, I'm going full ham on all those bosses. Man, I don't even need to have like a godly Argus, but I just need to have a good one. Which is arguably more frustrating that I didn't even get a decent one. I got a pretty bad one. And I had to use a replica. Sucks. I could technically save a bit of time and not clone this one, but... don't need to step out, because it's out of the city. Or I might do all any percent runs, and then when I do eventually have a route for Brian's Quest for All Spirits, do all Spirits runs. I think that would be better, probably. Do any percent of US, JP, and Brian's Quest, Brian's Journey. So it'd almost certainly be US, JP, and then Brian's Journey, because US is the hardest. JP is not that hard to finish, but you can die, and it's not as bad. And then Brian's Quest is you can save before bosses, like you can save anywhere in the game, so it's not a big deal. Oh no, I died to a boss, reset immediately, start the boss again, lose maybe 20 seconds. That's what's nice about that game, is you can save anywhere, but if you do die, it actually sends you to the start of the game, so you have to, or to the start menu, so you do actually have to save, which is kind of a bit annoying. I'll definitely be doing runs on Saturday, but I'll probably only be doing normal any percent runs. On days that I have more time, I'm going to be a little more free with my resets, as opposed to this where I'm like, I don't have time to do another run tonight, unfortunately. And I probably won't be streaming Tuesdays or Thursdays in the future because I have class both those evenings. Maybe Tuesday evening because my class starts at 4:30. Probably not Thursday evening because my class usually goes to 8:50. Today, since it was the first class, it was shorter. To like 7:45 or so. Don't walk. Ah, you butthole. I'm just being ballsy. Because they don't ever seem to. I could have just used escape, but I'm not using a healing item like I normally would. I don't think the second one ever gets within range to hit you. You butthole. I need to have the fastest hovering. Didn't need to do that spin, I thought it was swoop. Alright, here we go. Time to die. One. Alright, not gonna be like that. Two, three, four, that's good. Five, six, good. 7, 7, 8. I'll take it. 9, 10. Alright. $11, $12, $13, $12, $12. Wow. That was an extremely good Fargo. I only lost 10 seconds. Wow. I had a pretty good Fargo too. I had a pretty good Fargo in my PB, so... Or not Fargo, Guilty. So like, only losing an additional 10 seconds is actually kind of surprising. But I had an okay Bogus and I had a terrible Mammon, so I can technically bring it back, but most likely not. I only used one MP item, so I don't need to pick up anything here. Going full ham, guys. I am, however, picking up the one spirit by Leo because it'll put me at 24 after Bogus. I do kind of want, because that's extra damage from basically one more point in Earth, since it's divisible by 8. I remember I also had a really terrible opening to the fight. Barrier dropped, or missed the first turn, and then missed like the third or fourth turn or something. Basically, it was just not good. Everyone get ready to say hi and bye. Because the whole time, we've been looking for our dad. And there he is. Hi, Dad. Bye, Dad. Save 30 seconds on the split. I can save a minute. So if I get really good both of these splits, I can save a bunch of time. Potentially. Alright, that's good. Two, 3, 4. Wow. I'll take 4 though. He needs like 11. Or more than that. I don't remember. Five. Ugh. 6, 7, 8. Dang. 9, 10, 11. Holy crap. $13, $14. Wow. Alright guys, wow. Oh my god. That was a 2-minute gold split. I know I haven't had a good bogus fight yet, but please, game. I'm ahead of my PB by 6 seconds. Man. And it's not hard to beat my PB because my bogus fight is so bad. Man. Game, please. If I get world record with this, I'm going to be extremely upset. Although I probably will stop playing this because I don't like JP that much. I am atrocious at this game. You are correct, Mr. Dragon. What the hell, game? What the hell? I seriously can't believe that. 6 seconds. God. Like, that was a very, very good. That was like 2 4 hits and a 3 hit. Like, that's 11 of like 13 or 14 hits that he needs. That's insane. It was a 2 4s, a 3, a 1, and 2 2s. And one of those, the last 2 might have actually been a 3, but he was already dead. I call everyone Mr. or Mrs. something. Be polite, I don't know. You guys could be older than me, you could be younger than me, I don't know. But you're all cool people that are hanging out in my chat, so I will dress you as I see fair, calling you Mr. whatever. Assuming you're a man. Call you Mr. and people like Pyromancer or Wubba-Lubba-Dub or Wubba-Lubba-Dub, they are both happen to be ladies, so I will call them Mrs. Miss, rather. Ma'am. He's stuck in a corner. Kinda funny. I'm okay with Spriggan fights, I'm not gonna waste an item on a Spriggan fight because they do nothing. Yes, I did lose time to those Spriggan fights, but there's other fights that I can potentially save time not getting. I got a pony fight here. Classic. I think I got a pinwheel fight like right after over here. I'm not going to get. Yeah, I got a pinwheel fight there. I got another pinwheel fight over here as well. Kinda like that. I didn't get a pinwheel fight, damn. Alright, rip. Time. I don't have that bad, it's not happening anymore. But I don't have that bad a boil hole split, and this was like free world record easy. Especially with the way that bogus went, like goodness. Oh, my sum of best before that bogus split was like 146, and now it's 144, 47. That's pretty crazy. A lot more than 6 seconds behind now, but if I have a good bogus or a Mammon fight, I don't know if I can save enough time because of those encounters that I had. Alright, I'm 7 seconds behind right now. Granted, I was closer than I was before the bogus fight. Still can't believe I got that good of a bogus fight, that's crazy. No more random encounters. I'll just have a really good Mammon fight. Granted, I started my Mammon fight with a double barrier miss, so I can probably have a better start. Look at that, better. One, 2, 3. Four, 5, 6. That's not good. Have to go for it though, no healing. Alright, this isn't happening. Seven, 8, 9, 10. $11, $12. Yeah, not happening anymore. 13, 14, 15, 16. Damn. I think that might be world record.